Okay guys, so today we're making a video on feeder insect care for your leopard gecko. Let's get straight on with the video. Okay, so the first feeder insect we have is the mealworm. Tenebrio molitor, I believe, is the scientific name. And these are probably the most easily available, cheapest feeder insect that you can get. Now I'm trying to grab one here for you to see. They're quite small. These are about fully grown because most of them are turning into the pupae now. I'll try and get a close-up shot of that for you. Can't really see it very well, but it's basically like a chrysalis, only it's not like hanging on a leaf. And these are really cheap. The care is really simple, just throw in a couple of oats, as you can see. I've just got some oats here, just bits of normal oats, whatever, and that's about it. Put in a bit of veg for water and then you're done. So these are really easy, but they're not the healthiest feeder insect, so they shouldn't be fed alone. But that's about it for mealworms. Let's move on to the next feeder insect. The next feeder insect we have is the Morio worm, Tenebrio Morio. And in America you will know this as the superworm. Now these do like to burrow, so I'll try and get one. There's a couple here. There you go. They have like a black tip and a black head. So these are about the same care as mealworms. They're probably not as easily available, but they are healthier and they are bigger than mealworms, considerably bigger. So I would, if you're going to feed these as well as mealworms, only give like 1 or 2 at a time to a leopard gecko, something like that. These in expense are probably not much more than mealworms, so they're pretty much identical, but I'll get one out side by side now so you can see the size difference. Now here we have a mealworm and a Morio worm side by side. The small one's the mealworm, this big one's the Morio worm. Now you're probably thinking, why don't I just use my fingers to hold these? Well, I will for the mealworm if I can pick it back up, but not these, because these do bite. I try and make sure my leopard gecko bites these by the head, because they can bite her and they will bite their tongues if you mess with them. So, but yeah, that's just a quick size comparison. Let's move on to the last feeder insect I own. Here we have the last feeder insect, which is the desert locust, Schistocerca gregaria. Now you can see one climbing up the back there. And you may be thinking, hang on, these aren't crickets, why has he not got crickets? Well, Cleo, my leopard gecko, which is my only insectivorous pet, will not eat crickets. She's a bit silly, she doesn't like them, never has. And for ages I've just fed her the Morio and mealworms. But yesterday I was out and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give these a go. And I tried with one last night and she loved it. So, you know, they have different tastes, obviously. And these are really good. They're fine at room temperature. Some say that they need to be hot or the food will rot in the stomach. But literally, if you can see, this cage got set up yesterday and there is poo on the glass here, poo on the glass at the back there, poo there, poo there. There's literally locust poo absolutely everywhere, so they obviously are digesting. Now these are one of the healthiest insects you can feed to any reptile because they have a huge gut for the body size, they eat tons, and they don't chirp, they don't have any sort of smell so far. I hope that stays up. And they're really actually quite slow moving. I mean, they do jump a lot, Like if I just move this tub, you'll hear them all. You see, they jump like mad, but you really can quite easily calm them down. I put them in the freezer for about 4 to 5 minutes, and that really calms them down. They almost look like they're dead, but they obviously spring right back, and that makes life so much easier. So you might think, oh, why doesn't everybody use these? Well, I am in the UK, and these are not available in America and such, because in the wild they do form huge swarms and they destroy crops, and in the UK it's too cold outdoors for them to survive because they are a desert species. But in America, in a lot of places, it's warm enough, and the amount of damage that these things could do if they got out, it would probably be irreparable. So it makes sense for you not to have them. So yeah, that's about it for these. The same care for any other feeder insects. Oats on the bottom, a bit of veg for water and nutrients, and that's about it. So the last aspect I'm going to go into with feeder insects is how often should you feed each one. Now, mealworms are the least healthy of the feeder insects I have, so I'd feed them the least. The Morios are sort of in between, so I would feed them maybe a third of the time, something like that. And then these guys are incredibly healthy. They're one of the healthiest feeder insects on the market, so I would feed these as the staple food. So say these half the time, the Morios a third of the time, and the mealworms a sixth of the time. Now, you might think, oh, a sixth of the time, there's no point having them, but you know, they are useful for when you go on holiday. You can leave food in a bowl and then the leopard gecko can get it itself, which is really handy. And yeah, so that's about it. I'll give you a little shot of this locust, if I can catch it. They have really pretty colours if you actually look. Just about see it there. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe, that would be great, thank you. So I'll see you next time. Bye guys.